Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm at the radio station today, and we're going to be live in seconds, so you won't want to miss it, I promise. Here we go. It's showtime.
On new and used tires, again, my number is 954-977-9445.
All right, here we go. All right, welcome everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, we got a lot to cover today. I can't believe it's Friday already, the first full week of the new year, and it flew by because there's so much going on for us to talk about. There's about 6 news cycles each and every day. I want to cover a lot on the program today, but also today is Friday, meaning it's open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mic Friday. And on Friday's show, you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up. You don't even have to comment on the topics we bring up. Although I've got a lot of good ones, and hopefully you'll find them interesting enough to comment on. But on Friday, on Open MAGA Mic Friday, the show prep is up to you and the listening audience. Any and everything on your mind is fair game. The other 4 days of the week, you have to talk about what we want to talk about. But Friday, it's up to you guys. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are. All right, there was another ICE incident, which I'll get to in just a moment, with shootings. But I want to share something. Dan Bongino made his return to podcasting, and I'm going to play a clip of Bongino, and because he made some good points. I got to cut it off before the end because he drops a. Is the delay on, Mike? Okay, just in case I don't stop it in time. I'm under caffeinated this morning. I haven't had too much coffee. If I stop it at the right point, I won't have to use the dump button, but I very well may have to hit the dump button on Dan Bongino. Now, Dan Bongino, he did announce he's going to return to the podcasting and to the airwaves in February, early February. He's going to be back, and he's very excited to be in front of the mic. But he talked about what he's going to be doing. And he did say that he doesn't have to do show prep for the first, I don't know, couple of months because he's got all this stuff to talk about. And I imagine, what the beginning of the show will be him telling you how he did everything he wanted to do, or it'll be a lot of, trying to resurrect his reputation. People are pretty ticked at him. I was reading some of the comments on social media from MAGA people. People are pretty ticked at him, and I get it because I'm very frustrated too with the Justice Department. But I wanted to play this before we get into the new news of the day, because he talked about what he's going to be doing and what he's going to be working on, and I like this. So let me pull this up, and then we'll just talk about it a little bit. I just got to make sure I hit it at the right time so I don't have to dump Dan Bongino.
Endless complaining, then just don't watch the shows. It's okay. Like, this is a constitutional republic. You're not obligated to listen to my show. Justin, what was the line on the air with Jim? It's not a freaking airport, man. You don't have to announce your departure. Like, you get these black pillars. The thing about black pillars, where everything sucks all the time, is they're like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not. Great, so am I. That's how you're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything about. Like, that's all you do. Like, he'll shut down the border, 10 people across a month. Why wasn't it 0? Okay, well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal? That way, and there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterms. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. That doesn't mean healthy debates about policy are not welcome. Hey, I'm not a big tariff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. Debating policies are fine. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the tariffs was dramatically over-exaggerated. Even people who don't like them having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth.
Okay, so there you go. I'm not going to play, because right after that he's going to use some profanity, so I don't want to get to that part. But he's talking about these black pillars, which I've never heard that term before. Have you heard of that before, Mike? Black pillar? No, I've not heard of it. I don't know. So I did do some Google searching because I never heard of. I know what red pilling is. I know what blue pilling would be, but I don't think there's a known instance of somebody being blue pilled. I mean, if somebody was blue pilled, you know, they would have to have had like a major head injury, because how could you go from one to the other or be bought off like some people are suspected to have been done? But what he's talking about doing here is very important. What black pillars are, as you heard it, he described it, right? There are people who, okay, we want to shut down the border. There's millions of people coming across the border every year. President Trump shuts it down. 10 people get across the border. And like, I thought he was going to shut down the border. 10 people got across. Yeah, but 10 million got across last year. Yeah, but 10 got through this year. Just 10. What's he doing? So now that may be an exaggeration, but it's not much of one. And if he is successful in doing what he's talking about doing, and his success is questionable because we don't know how he's going to be received, because I know there's a lot of, because I myself feel that way, there's a lot of frustration in the MAGA movement that Cash, Bongino, and Pam Bondi haven't done anything to the lawfare people. And people are very frustrated about that. I mean, we've had Maduro in court. I mean, but we can't get Brennan in court, you know, or Comey, or even Letitia James. I know they're going after her for some more charges I read this morning. So there's a lot of frustration with that. So but what he's talking about doing is trying to get in control of these conservatives in the new media, as well as wrangle in some of these big mouth people that are pundits and in Congress. And one of the things I realized after the assassination of Charlie Kirk by the Never Trumpers is that Charlie Kirk was keeping these conservative media people in line. And that's probably why a lot of them are, you know, like Tucker, were at Turning Point USA so much, so he could keep them under control and stop them from going rogue and undermining President Trump and the MAGA movement, which they've been doing. And it sounds like Dan Bongino is going to try to get them under control. And if he can do that, that's a great service that he could do. Now, it's questionable whether he'll be able to do that, because when he starts going after these people, which is what he's talking about, they're going to go after him for the lack of action by the Justice Department. Now, if he was coming back to his show in February and Comey had been, prosecuted, I know they got some indictments that got tossed out, but it wasn't because of them. If Brennan was awaiting sentencing and things like that, he would come home the returning hero, and we'd be throwing flowers in the streets and having parades and such. But that's not what happened. So when he starts going after Tucker and he starts going after Megyn Kelly or Candace Owens, they're going to pivot and turn it on the lack of action from him, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi. So I don't know how effective he's going to be, but I'll tell you this. Someone needs to get these big mouths under control, because they're messing everything up. And that goes for Mark Levin, too. You know, these people, all they do is talk about themselves. And when they're not talking about themselves, they're talking about what other people are saying about them. And that also goes for Nick Fuentes and all of these people. And there's not a MAGA divide in the country. There's a handful of 10 or 12 people in MAGA media, some of which I named, that are screwing things up on their platforms with their audience, and they're creating the illusion of a MAGA divide, which we don't want, because things are going so well for us as we're in this midterm year that not only do we have a high likelihood of maintaining control of the Congress, we have a major opportunity here to gain seats in both houses, and governors and state reps and such as well. This year we could win everything and make history if we get a large voter turnout. And with these self-important, very narcissistic influencers that I keep talking about that are totally out of control, they're discouraging that voter turnout. So I hope Dan Bongino is successful. And I'll tell you, as frustrated as I am about the lack of action from the Justice Department, if he can do that, he'll be redeemed in my eyes. Not that he needs redemption from me, but I'll give him a pass on everything if he can wrangle in these big mouths. But the comments on social media are not good. And these are MAGA people that are pretty ticked off at him. You know, I was talking to Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax yesterday, and I was telling him that this is the first tax season, because we're in tax season now. This is the first tax season where people are excited to file their taxes. You know, Scott Bassett has said people are going to get the largest tax returns they've ever received because of the big, beautiful bill. And people are so excited to file their taxes because of the big, beautiful bill. And you want to call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. I have talked to multiple listeners who have gone to Jamie LeeZep for tax issues. Business owners, people dealing with back taxes, W-2 workers, and people are singing his praises. He does incredible work. He can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the world, no matter what state you're in. He's located in Broward County, but no matter, and of course he can help you with your taxes here locally, but if you're in another state or even another country, he can help you with your taxes. If you're in another state where you have a state income tax, he can help you with that. He was just telling me some of our listeners from out of state have been contacting him, and he's been helping them not just with their federal taxes, but their state taxes as well. This number rings directly to Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. Call him right now, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome. All right.
If you're dreaming of that perfect Caribbean cruise, nothing comes close to Celebrity Beyond, sailing year-round from Miami to the Caribbean, including our 10th annual cruise in March. Every cruise on Celebrity Beyond is unforgettable. Every detail is taken care of, and you'll enjoy all-inclusive fares, world-class restaurants, and top-quality beverages that redefine indulgence. Relax in the retreat, your own private resort within a resort, or unwind on the retreat sun deck with panoramic ocean views. You can pamper yourself in Aqua Class, where 5-star spa experiences will melt your stress away. From the lively martini bar to the breathtaking sunset bar, every space on board Celebrity Beyond is designed to inspire and delight, all backed by Celebrity's unmatched service. Call Cruise and Travel Depot today at 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779 to book all your celebrity vacations. Because when it comes to luxury at sea, on board Celebrity Beyond, nothing comes close.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
On the line, we have Gina. She's a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. Gina, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great, thanks. So you went and met
Yeah, like
Joe
this one.
Thomas about
If I could get this one down to 60.
Tell me about your experience.
I can't say enough
Yeah.
things about my experience with Joe Thomas. He's a straight shooter. He tells it like it is. He talks in plain language so that you know, because I didn't know anything about this stuff when I retired. So I walked into his office and immediately I felt comfortable. And I said, look, I know nothing about
Oh, they're making you fill out all this?
lose my shirt. So
Yeah,
please,
just for like the rehire paperwork and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it all.
When's that go through for this?
I don't know. Well, we're supposed to just give it to the new guy. Well, I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing
I'm just gonna
worse
give it
than
to Mike
running
just to
out
pass off.
of money before you run out of life, right?
Exactly.
Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Gina, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies FLA.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631 on this Open Phone Friday, Open MAGA Mike Friday, 888-465-2631. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. Danielle calling from Michigan.
Hey, what's up?
Happy Friday. Oh, I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited that Bongino's coming back. I think he's going to be awesome on the other side. I have all the patience. I think there's some really major stuff getting ready to happen. And I'm just really excited that he's going to be back. I think MAGA's going to really just going to enjoy him once again. And I think we're going to probably learn a lot. And I know everybody's getting impatient. I mean, sometimes I do. But I think, Brian, with what's going on right now in Minnesota, I'm not talking about the protests. I'm talking about all the fraud. This is getting so major and so huge and out of control that I think by the time we get from now until the midterms, any person in their right mind that would ever even consider voting for these people after we see what they've done to our country, I think the midterms are going to be in history too.
Yeah, and the reason I'm talking about this thing with Bongino, and this is why it's important, because all the frustration we have that these lawfare people haven't been brought to justice. Dan Bongino was not the Attorney General or even the Director of the FBI. He was the Deputy Director of the FBI. All right, so he wasn't the man in charge. So you know what I mean. So and people are going to want to show their frustration towards him. That's so counterproductive, and we need to be very united this entire year. None of this infighting. All right. Oh, did I lose you? Yeah, I said none of this infighting.
I totally agree. And let me tell you something. Sometimes people are better on the outside than they are on the inside.
Correct.
Bannon's been whether you like him or you don't like him. I've met him, whether you like him or not. He's been pretty good on the outside. So we have to be a little bit more patient, MAGA. Come on, everybody. Let's stick together. Mm-hmm. Let's have faith. And I'm telling you, Brian, the more you look to see what they're uncovering in Minnesota and what's going on, this is... And my parents are from Minnesota. I've spent a lot of time in Minnesota. I have family in Minnesota. I mean, this is absolutely going to be mind-boggling to the average person that's really... I mean, people are going to be woken up here. Mm-hmm. I feel really good about it. I love your show, and I'm going to see if you're on Wendy Bell this weekend because I love watching you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Tell Steve I said hi. God bless you.
All right, take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chester. I'm calling from Idaho.
Oh, yes. Okay. Here we go.
You're okay?
What's on your mind?
I want to talk about some of this Trump foreign policy stuff. I want to talk about some of the stuff back in December, and then maybe we'll get to how that shapes sort of my view on this.
Okay.
So, back in December, there were those 2 American soldiers and the American civilian who were killed in Syria by the Islamic State. And then later on that month, we had that attack in Nigeria among a large range of attacks across the country, but this one was targeting Christians. Mm-hmm. And so in response to both of these, and this is my contention, I do not think this is a good military, foreign policy to tell these governments who we are partnered with, we're partnered with these governments, if American civilians are killed in your country, if you're having some sort of attack that's like not even related to Americans, we will go out of our way as America to like militarily intervene and airstrike in 2025. I just don't think that's good policy, and it makes me question why he makes these decisions in the first place.
Okay. Well,
Do you think these were good moves? These two specific?
I think I think what President Trump's doing everywhere in foreign policy is amazing. He's doing things in a very different way. He's making alliances in places where we've never had friends before.
Well, I'm asking about these like two specific instances.
Nah.
Don't that would maybe like incentivize bad behavior from these governments?
No.
So why do you think he even did it in the first place?
Did what?
Bomb these ISIS groups. Does this mean?
Well, because when they're ISIS will always be bombed and vaporized until they're no more. And when he does this, it's our problem. And when he does this, the countries sign off on it. They may not. Just because they're killing Christians. So we should. So when they kill Christians for being Christians, you don't think we should intervene?
No, I think that's Nigeria's job. I think the only reason we intervene, we should, if we really cared, we wouldn't just intervene if it, you know.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with when Christians, this is a Christian country. The United States is a Christian Judeo country, but what's that?
I said I resent that, but go ahead.
Who cares what you? Why do you resent that? What are you, an atheist?
Yeah, I am. I believe in the separation of church and state.
Well, you believe there is no separation of church and state in the Constitution.
All right.
Well, share it with me. Read it to me.
You don't think we have?
No, read it. Read it to me. Read me where it says separation of church and state in the Constitution.
The Constitution. You said that.
Well, what do you go by? What do you go by?
I'm sorry. How is this related to Nigeria?
Well, because when you get your own show, you can talk about Nigeria.
I'm just curious as to why you're like changing.
Because I'm really not interested in what you brought up. I think it's kind of terminally boring, and it's well, yeah, but there is some quality control, and I find it interesting. I'm not interested in answering your questions. I'm not here to be interviewed by you, but I find it open mic doesn't mean that I just turn the show over and you become a host. But see, you're no, I could respond. I am, excuse me, you're on hold. See, you're not sharp enough or bright enough to understand that I am talking about the question that you asked. You're just not that sharp. You have obviously. You said. See, you're not talking about Nigeria. See, you've got a beef with Christians, and what you would said. Excuse me, and I apologize for speaking while you're interrupting. Okay, but you would take an issue. Oh, he hung up. I did not hang up on him, but I'll finish my sentence without him here. He took issue with the military response Trump had to the slaughter of the Christians in Africa, the Christian martyrs. And then what do we find out? He's an atheist who doesn't like Christians at all. So as far as he's concerned, he would like to see all Christians killed by ISIS because he, for whatever reason, doesn't like us. Okay? And so he's too simple-minded to understand that the conversation I'm having is exactly what he is talking about. Now, I want to talk about this incredible offer from Sloman's. Listen to this. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Give them a call, 833-283-5050. That's right, it's a free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access. Give them a call right now, 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. Well, you know what it is with liberals? Liberals think they're really smart, but they're not. You know what I mean? If they were smart, they wouldn't be liberals. But they think they're smarter than everybody else. If you're on hold, stand by.
I did until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years.
All right, call us on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. Our number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Norm from upstate New York.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? Last time we talked, I'm sorry that I confused you a little bit. I was talking metaphorically. I was comparing you to Chuck Liddell. But I thought it was really ironic and actually was almost foreshadowing. Like 2 calls after my call, you had someone trying to attack you. But I thought that was so ironic because Chuck was a counterpuncher, and that's what I feel that you do. You allow the people to talk, and then you listen, and then you just take their words apart.
That's correct, yes. Thank you very much.
Or punch.
Yes.
Thank you. Yep.
Oh, that's it. All right, I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, nice compliment. I'm so unaccustomed to talking to normal people, I almost don't know how to talk to a normal person. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
The bottom line is that when
Wait, you called it. It's 1 call per day. You hung up, and you blew it. You blew your 1 call, okay? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doc from Texas.
Hey, what's up, Texas?
Hey, Brian, how are you this morning?
I'm all right. How are you?
All right, I'm good. Hey, look, I think the FBI and the federal government is making a big mistake. They really need to let the local and the state investigate what happened in Minnesota, because that way we let them investigate. It's not like you're trying to hold anything back. Just let them investigate, and just be transparent with it, and that way.
Who do you want? Who do you want to investigate? You want the local authorities to investigate the federal officer, the ICE agent shooting of the woman who tried to murder him? Mm-hmm.
Let them investigate it, because that way it's transparent. See, you see, the whole thing about it is you let them be transparent. I always have this thing: let it all hang out. That way you.
Well, first of all, they are investigating. However, sure, they are. In fact, the local prosecutor said that she's considering bringing charges against the ICE agent. However, ICE agents, J.D. Vance talked about this yesterday at a press conference at the White House. Federal agents have immunity from local authorities. They're under federal law. So local authority has no authority over federal agents in such a matter.
That's scary. You do not give anybody immunity, because...
No. They don't have immunity. They're under federal law. They're under federal jurisdiction, not local. They have immunity from a local prosecution.
Do not give anybody that kind of blanket immunity.
They do not have blanket immunity. See what I mean? See what I mean about how dumb liberals are? You're worse than the first guy.
Please, okay, tell me. So what's wrong with them make sure they don't have blanket immunity?
I word it a different way. local authority does not have jurisdiction over federal agents in an incident like that. They're under the jurisdiction of the federal government.
If they in my state and something happened in my state, I'm going to charge you in my state because you...
No, you can't. No. They don't have immunity. They're just under federal jurisdiction.
If they do something wrong in that state, they shouldn't be prosecuted in that state?
And when it's something that involves to being on duty, like if they were driving drunk on the highway and got pulled over, they would be subject to the local authority. Okay? But if it's something that they're doing in the commission of their job, like avoiding being run over and killed, that's under federal authority.
I'm gonna use an example. I work for a company. Whenever I have this shirt on, I represent this company. So it's okay. The federal agent go out to a bar. He's driving a federal car. He still has his badge on. I always taught a police officer, and they're always officers, agent officers, they're always on duty. So if he drives drunk, he hits somebody. He's not going to, he has immunity because he...
No, I just told you. No, when it's under, if they got a DUI, that is not something that he's doing in the commission of his job. He would be subject to the local authority. It's not about being on duty. What it's about is when he would, in this incident where this liberal lunatic activist, okay, not only is she an activist, it's true. There's a big article in the New York Post that she was a trainer for training people on how to combat ICE. There's a big article about her yesterday in the New York Post.
Sure. Okay.
Well, you gotta follow the news to keep up on this show.
Okay, I do too. I follow the news.
No, you're pretty far behind.
You talk about Dan Bongino. Okay, Dan Bongino is going back to his show. He's going back and making his money, and so he's going back to making his money. Now he's going.
What's wrong with making money? Why do you go to work?
I go to work to make money.
Okay, so no, you said he's going back to make his money. Like that's some bad thing.
I did not say it was a bad thing, Brian.
The tone of your when you said it made it sound as if there was something wrong with that.
It's money. He should have never been in that office in the first place because he's unqualified for it.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Don't you agree he was unqualified for that job?
For what job?
The job he had.
What job did he have?
You know what job he had.
Well, you say he wasn't qualified for it. What job is that you say he wasn't qualified for?
Assistant director of the FBI.
No, that was not the job he had.
Well, you know what he had.
Deputy director. What are the qualifications to be deputy director?
You tell me.
Well, you say that he's not qualified.
Fine. At one time, you said Ron Johnson, they should have fired him.
Mm-hmm. No. You just said he wasn't. You just said that he wasn't qualified. So what are the qualifications for that job?
Now you like Dan Bongino. Now one time you didn't like Cash Patel. You didn't like Pamela.
So you said that he wasn't qualified for the job. You didn't know what the job was, and you don't know what the qualifications are.
Well, see, there you go. You trying to okay, fine. You trying to make me look like I'm stupid, and I'm not.
No, you're doing that. You're doing that yourself. I'm doing nothing. I haven't even had my coffee this morning.
Huh?
I haven't even had my coffee this morning. I've had like 2 sips of coffee. So no, no, you're doing it yourself. You said he wasn't qualified.
You said it yourself. He wasn't qualified for that job.
No. You just said he wasn't qualified. You don't know what the name of the job is. You don't know the job title, and you don't know the qualifications. So how can you say he's not qualified in your opinion?
I'm repeating what you said.
Well, you don't accept anything I say. You disagree with everything I say. So now all of a sudden I'm credible to you? Oh my goodness, I'm getting a headache. I'm going to have a stroke if I talk to him any longer. Yeah, this woman, and it's sad that she lost her life. Please don't misunderstand me, okay? And it's unfortunate, but she did what she did, and this was in the New York Post yesterday. Renee Nicole Good, that was her name, was Minneapolis's ICE Watch warrior who trained to resist feds before the shooting. Renee, this is in the New York Post. The New York Post is very hard to read online. They just, they have a website that has nonstop ads popping up. And you know what it is with the New York Post website? It's just dated. It's like from the 90s, right? It's not like an updated website. I can't even scroll through the story hardly. But it says here, Renee Nicole Good, the mom who was killed by a federal agent after veering her car towards him, was an anti-ICE warrior and part of a group of activists who worked, and then I can't scroll to read the rest of the article. Do any of you have this same problem with the New York Post? I have this problem on every single computer I have with the New York Post, and I just think that their website is just incredibly out of date, and it also happens on whatever browser I use. So I don't mind ads, it's fine, but they constantly pop up, and you can't read the thing, and now it always freezes. That's why when you hear me talk about things, you don't hear me talk about the New York Post very often, because their website just never works. It's like frozen up on me. But I read the article yesterday. So she was also training activists on how to oppose the feds. And then yesterday I shared with you eyewitness testimony from a woman who was there on the scene who said that she was leading the whole movement. She was following and obstructing the ICE agents all day. And there's a new video that came out late in the day yesterday that showed that she hit him hard. In fact, she hit the ICE agent so hard that he bent over on the hood for a moment. So she hit him, and she hit him real hard. He's lucky to be walking around, although who knows what he's like. You know what it's like when you get one of those injuries? It's the next day that you really feel it. When it's first going on, you're in shock. You've got the adrenaline. There was a shooting incident. And I imagine he's not walking around like he was right after the incident that we saw. But when you listen to these liberals talk about it, they're on a whole nother planet. And I saw this. Let me pull this up. I wasn't gonna play this, but I think I am now. I saw this liberal woman, and she's a white liberal woman, and she's not sure that she should show her respects for this woman who was killed by the ICE agents, even though she agrees with her and is a liberal, because she's not sure that it's the right thing to do to show sympathy for a white person. This is how liberal she is. Let me pull this up. Listen to this. This is crazy.
So, I'm just walking around kind of just dazed-eyed because I was like, I don't know if it's the right thing to do. It feels kind of wrong being here in some way. I don't know why.
And why do you think, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, where that stems from. Part of it is being a white woman that I'm privileged and I have a lot of privilege. So I feel like white tears are not always something that's helpful or necessary.
Oh my goodness.
When black and brown people have been experiencing this for a long time. This isn't new for them, and so I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
In that way.
How did you decide that you should be here? Or are you still figuring that out?
Well, I work 2 miles from here, so driving by, it's like I'm here. I'm 2 miles. I can stop.
Okay, so she's saying two things that are completely insane. She said that white people have no right to grieve for anyone because black and brown people have been dying over the years. Well, white people have died too. We're not immortals. And that as a white person, she also believes she has so much white privilege that it's inappropriate for her to grieve or cry over someone who's died. And this is, you cannot make this stuff up. People that are liberal in this country today, there's not as many as there used to be, thank the Lord above, but they are mentally ill. They're self-hating and mentally ill. And, on my podcast yesterday, I got a call from a guy. He asked a question. I did not have an answer to this question. And maybe you have one. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I don't know. Maybe we got to talk to a psychiatrist about this. But why are so many of these liberal lunatics, liberal white women? What is it with these women that makes them say things like this? I have privilege, I can't grieve someone. I have privilege, I can't cry for someone who's died. I have privilege, this dead person has privilege, but they were white, so people shouldn't feel sorry for them. I don't know why these white liberal women are the way they are. I have no understanding or explanation of it, but they're pretty scary, aren't they? They really are. Okay, we'll take our break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Taxes in past years, and he called Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So, tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out. I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So, this other company you went to told you you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture, every Sunday at 6 a.m.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. It's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. Never showed any aggravation or because I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number, 888-465-2631. Okay, so President Trump was on Hannity last night. Pretty good interview, I must say. Brought up a few things. I got a couple clips from it. But let me share this one first. Here's the president. He's talking about Cuba and Venezuela.
Cuba totally relies on Venezuela for money and for oil, and they give Venezuela protection. That was always the deal. They're very tough. They're good soldiers. They got wiped out, as you know.
Yeah.
3 days ago, wiped out. I don't want to even say how many, but they got wiped out. But Cuba gives protection to Venezuela, and Venezuela gives Cuba money through oil.
Yeah.
And it's worked that way for a long time.
You talked
But
about
it doesn't work that way anymore. So I don't know what Cuba's going to do. I think Cuba's going to fail. I don't think there are any alternatives for Cuba.
Okay, now here's the thing with Cuba, all right? So we don't hear about Cuba too much anymore, but we haven't heard about anything from Cuba since Venezuela fell. CNN has a bureau in Havana. While we have an embargo against Cuba, Canada does not, Europe does not. Not only does CNN have a bureau in Havana, a lot of the other international news outlets have people in Cuba. And since the liberation of Venezuela, have any of you seen any reporting in Cuba? I haven't seen anything. And you heard what President Trump said. Cuba has a big problem when it comes to money. It's not just that they don't have any. Cuba has to do everything with cash. They have no credit. Fidel Castro blew that. You hear people talk all the time about the good faith and credit of the United States. Cuba doesn't have that. So they have to do everything in cash. They have no credit. The country's falling apart and broke. They were surviving on getting money and oil from Venezuela. And those of you that have lived in Florida for a long time and have been through some hurricanes, although when Rick Scott was governor, he made some changes so our gas stations don't shut down after hurricanes anymore. All the gas stations have generators. They didn't have generators before he was governor, and we wouldn't have. And I remember when we would have hurricanes. After the hurricane, if we got hit, the gas stations wouldn't have any gas because there was no electricity. They were low before the storm because everybody fills up all their cars, and then people like me have 5-gallon drums for our generators. I get a whole bunch of those filled up, but then they don't have electricity. They can't run the pumps. And when we've had hurricanes and things are bad after, you start to feel it with the gas 2-3 days really bad. And when it gets to the first weekend, it's a disaster. It's really rough. Now, Rick Scott fixed all that, a lot of it, by putting generators in gas stations and also cutting down the trees around power lines all over the state and doing some other things when he was governor. But regardless, so Cuba, though, is not a first world country with an infrastructure like we have. And when a hurricane hits part of Florida and you have these problems, there's a big part of Florida that's still okay and the rest of the country is still okay. All of Cuba has not been getting gas from Venezuela, really oil, for some time because we were slowing down the Venezuelan oil and gas going to Cuba for the last few months, but now it's been completely cut off. And even before this happened, and they had good relations and with their satellite state of Venezuela, gasoline and oil was in very short supply in Cuba, where they couldn't even power their power plants all day or night. They would only have power plants running a few hours a day. And what I would really like to see is, today's Friday. I would love to see a Friday night photograph over Havana, Cuba today, and then look at that same spot at the same time over Havana, Cuba, say 6 months ago, and see how many lights were on Friday night in Havana 6 months ago and how many are on now. And my guess is that it's turning into like that North Korea at night. There's no lights in North Korea at night, and then South Korea is all lit up. It's got to be that way. They are probably, the gas shortage has got to be so bad in Cuba right now that they're probably seizing gasoline from people's private vehicles. They have no reserves because they've been short for 60 years. And all these media outlets, including CNN, that are there on the ground in Havana, haven't done a single story about this. That's how bad it is. So Cuba is on the verge of collapse, and it may already be happening. But it'd be nice if the news outlets that are there would do some reporting. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phones in a minute. But I want you to think about this. President Trump just liberated Venezuela. Iran, because of President Trump, the Ayatollahs are about to fall over there, right? Because President Trump told them that if they murdered protesters in the street, we would bomb them. And for the first time, the protesters are not being murdered in the streets like they were during the Muslim Spring when Obama was president. And the protests in Iran are growing because people are losing their fear of being murdered by the police or the army. And I'm sure, have you seen the videos where the protesters are changing the street names to Donald Trump and all of that? Have you seen that? It's in Arabic. They translate it. So President Trump has liberated Venezuela, and Iran and Cuba are on the verge of it. I mean, it's really amazing. And there really is no proper coverage of this anywhere because they would rather the people of Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran live under the worst tyranny you could imagine. Iran is like the Handmaid's Tale on steroids, the way they treat women over there. And they won't report any of this because it would be positive for Trump. And they would rather these people live in tyranny, and under servitude and just terrible conditions than Donald Trump have one positive news day. The media aren't just incompetent. They are just vile, sick, twisted, low-life people. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
No, all these magnificent things that President Trump is doing, and his damn Josh Hawley, what a disappointment. You know, he goes against President Trump in a vote. You know, I mean, first we had Marjorie Taylor Greene. I thought she was great. And now Josh Hawley, I was one of my top people I liked. And now I'm done with him too, man. Unbelievable. Why these people would do something like that? This is amazing to me. If I was in Congress, no matter, even if I didn't like something that President Trump did, I would never say anything against him because that's just what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be, it's a team. You're supposed to stay on the team. You're not supposed to try to destroy something that he's doing. But man,
exactly.
Point.
No, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is, of all the things I've heard Rachel Maddow say, Rachel Maddow, she finally said something that I agree with. The Canadians supposedly are selling their properties, at least in Palm Beach, and getting out of the country because they think we don't want them here. I don't think that's really correct.
In fact, I know that's not true. My mother-in-law is from Canada, okay? And she's an American citizen, and she's been an American citizen for pretty much as long as I have, right? But she's from, so her family are in Canada, and they visit here, and they own houses. They own a house in Boca and everything else. They love Trump. And all the Canadians I meet, they love Trump. If they were here, they'd be MAGA. I don't know what they're talking about. Now, people are buying and selling homes because real estate in Florida is pretty hot, so people may be selling it. But no, there's no exodus of Canadians from Florida. Go to Hollywood Beach. And if you see if you see a guy with a big beer belly and a spandex bikini, that's a Canadian. Right?
Yeah, certainly. You know, you're right. I think because the market is so hot, they're selling and they're going to wait.
They just make crap up. Like I remember on MSNBC, they were talking about how everyone in Miami knows the sea levels are rising. And what had happened, they took a picture. Somebody had emptied out a cooler on South Beach, I'm not making this up. Okay, they emptied out an ice cooler that had fish in it on the side of the street. The ice melted, and they say, "Look, there's fish swimming in the streets of Miami Beach." Give me a break. Give me a break.
That's the idiots.
So they make all kinds of stuff up about Florida.
The last thing I'd like to say is I'm thinking Greenland. People are thinking that we're going to take over Greenland. You know?
Yeah, looks like it.
I think a lot of people are probably trying to get citizenship there, figuring that once the United States take over, it's going to be like an Indian reservation.
Well, they said that President Trump and Marco Rubio were meeting with someone from Denmark and someone from Greenland yesterday. I didn't see any follow-up to that. I think the deal's been done pretty much, that it's a done deal, and they're letting Denmark act like they're a tough country. Like they're, you know what I mean? Save little face. I think it's already been decided.
Yeah, they'll probably pay off Denmark a little bit or give energy or something. But I think the citizens there are going to be so much happier. They're going to make get some.
Well, listen, I'm out of time. I got to run. We're up on the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Come back. I got a lot more to share and your calls. I'm Brian Craig. Back right after this.
WQAM 104.
All right.
Wealth and happiness, and may 2026 be your best year. The first quarter of each year is the slowest for roofing contractors across Florida due to the lack of rain, vacationers, and recuperating from the holiday spend. We have secured 2024 pricing on certain roofing materials with our suppliers for the first quarter only. So if you are planning on a new roof in 2026, take advantage of our first quarter low pricing now. These savings are significant, especially for multiple building HOA and condo associations. This covers shingles, tiles, and flat roof systems, so give me a call on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602 or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out. I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. It is Friday. It is open phones every Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Okay, So there was another Border Patrol, or I guess it was Border Patrol ICE shooting. This time it was in Oregon, and I want to go through some of this. This is what's going on. The Department of Homeland Security announced last night that the individual who was shot by a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent in Minneapolis. Oh, this one was in Minneapolis. There was another one in Portland. There's so many of these that are going on, I'm losing track. It says Minneapolis. Let me pull up another story here. Well, let me go through this. Is a Venezuelan national with links to Trinidad de Agua. Initial reports indicated that around 2 p.m. local time, federal agents were involved in a shooting following an attempted traffic stop. Emergency call logs indicate that the driver of a red Tacoma attempted to run over an agent, prompting at least one of them to open fire in self-defense. I thought that was in Portland for some reason. Yeah, they got their that story has the city. That was trending politics. They put the wrong city in there because that was not Minneapolis. It was. I got to tell you, I've noticed in the last 3 to 5 years, when I'm reading news online, all kinds of errors, spelling errors, incredible grammar mistakes. I see that a lot. Let me pull up another version, okay? Yeah, it was in Portland. So that other story was they said Minneapolis. I thought something was wrong there with me. Federal officials had confirmed that 2 people were shot Thursday afternoon by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol in Portland. That's right, Oregon. The incident occurred at approximately 2:15 p.m. during an immigration enforcement operation. Initial reports indicate that 2 Portland residents, identified only as of this report as a 33-year-old Spanish-speaking male and his wife, which later has been identified as a Trinidad de Agua Venezuelan person. The incident occurred during an attempted traffic stop where the couple's red Toyota Tacoma allegedly accelerated towards officers. Agents were nearly struck by the vehicle, prompting at least one of them to open fire in self-defense. This is not new with the left, okay? What's new is it's involving their precious illegals and Border Patrol and ICE agents. But for years, I've seen incidents local incidents where police officers were killed a suspect who was trying to kill them. And then the left freak out over, how can you do this? He was only in his car. Cars are deadly weapons. There was one incident, 10, 15 years ago at a school in Palm Beach County where someone was driving a car on the walkway where there were students and they got shot. Maybe it was 20 years. It was a long time ago. But I've seen many incidents over the years where a police officer has a stop going on and the suspect tries to run them over to get away. They shoot them, and then the left are saying, how could they shoot them? They didn't have a gun. They were only in their car. That's crazy. So it's not new that liberals defend the bad guys when they try to kill law enforcement with their car. They've always been doing that. But what's different now, which we've never seen before, is that we have video of these incidents. Now, the one in Portland, I've not seen video of the one in Portland yet, but it may already be out there. The one in Minneapolis, we have endless video, right? Because it was these liberal activists all had their iPhones out and were filming everything, and then they posted it on social media. So the officer in Minneapolis was actually cleared by the liberal activists themselves in their video. And, I've said it to at least one caller, you're telling me not to believe my lying eyes because we can see it. And there's been so many videos. Like if the Kennedy assassination happened today, we'd have a lot, everybody has a camera there. Just like with Charlie Kirk, we saw things we would never see before. So in the past, the cops were in a lot of trouble because there was no video. And this Minneapolis incident has evaporated so quickly because of all the video out there. And the left, even themselves, have, and the left-wing media, haven't dealt with the situation with law enforcement versus car when the officer has to shoot someone dead because they're going to run them over with the car when there's so much video. In fact, if we only had the first couple videos, which were on the side of the vehicle, it wouldn't be cleared up yet. It's only because we got the videos from the other perspectives in front of the car that we saw what really happened here. And I was watching J.D. Vance's press conference yesterday at the White House, which was amazing. And the White House press corps, that you can tell the liberal media are fuming because they can't get their false narrative going about this. One, because the White House and Kristi Noem have responded immediately, telling everybody what happened. There's full transparency, and have ruled it a good shoot, justifiable shooting by the officer. But because we have so much video, they're very frustrated by it. But that's the way it is. But this ramming of cops, this is a very normal thing. I've seen this many times, and the only time I've seen video before, on occasion you would get a video from a dashboard camera where an officer would have someone pulled over on the side of the road, state trooper, and then the person would speed off and hit them, right? You know, and you get the dashboard camera, but you wouldn't get video like this because we literally have a 360 view of the entire incident from all these different cameras that were just posted up on X. You know, so we're in a place now where we can say, like at the Michael Brown incident, right? There was no video of that, and it was just the officer's word at first that that he rushed towards him. If the Michael Brown incident, that was the one in Ferguson, if I remember correctly. There were so many of those during that time. But if the Michael Brown incident happened today, we would have 50 video clips from the crowd because there was a protest going on. Even George Floyd, there was video of that, but not enough. If the George Floyd thing happened today, there would even be more video, and we'd have a more clear idea of what really happened. There's literally cameras everywhere, and they're all in 4K or even 5K, which some of these phones people have today. And that's good, right? It's good for us because we can see what really happens, and these liberals can't set the narrative. But this car ramming that's going on, Kristi Noem said there were about 100 of them in the last couple of months. There's been there were 4, I believe she said 4 in Minneapolis on the day of the shooting. So this woman that got shot, they said she was training these anti-ICE people. I wonder if there was training in ramming a vehicle. You know, ramming a vehicle is very dangerous. You could hurt yourself, not just the person you're ramming. And when you talk about ramming of vehicles, that's like something out of the movies. Like, you know, one of my favorite movies, Heat. In the beginning, they ram the armored truck with a semi. Ramming is very, very aggressive. And I noticed on social media, all over X, people are posting other videos of police officers in normal incidents with people where they get run over. I saw one today. There was a police officer who had someone pulled over on a traffic stop in a parking lot, and they decided they were going to get out of there, and they spun away and ran over the cop. And he was trying to avoid them, but they didn't. They ran him over and drove off. And there's a lot of these videos online. I don't understand why people think that a car that weighs 2 tons or more is not a deadly weapon. I don't quite understand where that's coming from. All right, listen, we're going to take our break. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
The new year is here and you deserve paradise. Good news, your getaway is ready. Go from Palm Beach with rates from just $79 per night. Bring the whole crew because your 3rd and 4th guests sail free and enjoy up to $800 in onboard credit to sip, savor, and soak in every moment.
Hey, it's Brian. Okay, so what's firmed up with the excursions? Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So okay. And what's the pricing like? No, for the no. I mean for the cruise. What's the availability? Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, okay. We'll be back in a couple minutes. I'll put you on hold. Hold on. That's Ian, the travel agent. I haven't talked to him since New Year's, so getting the updates on the cruise.
Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96 FM.
All right, callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian, the Steve Kane Show. On the line, our travel agent, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Ian, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year. It's in it.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's the countdown to our 10th annual listener cruise, our 10th annual MAGA cruise. I can't believe it's going to be the 10th one. I'm very excited. And we haven't talked since New Year's, so I don't know what the latest updates are on the cruise. So I was going to call you after the show, but I said, why don't we just talk on the air and let everybody know, right? So I'm excited. I want to tell people what we're doing. You know, those of you that are new to the program, every year, Steve Kane and I, we have a MAGA cruise. Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot has handled all of our cruises. And this year, where are we going? What ship are we going on? And then we could talk about what you have set up for us.
All right. Well, we're going on beautiful Celebrity Beyond, sailing the Eastern Caribbean to one of your favorite ports that you've been talking about for 10 years, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Tortola, British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and I love San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's my favorite place in the Caribbean, guys. And to me, it's because it's part of the United States. It's nice. It's very nice. But it's when they have those cobblestone streets. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of era. It's like you're in the 1500s in the Caribbean, right? It's really cool. So all right, so we got that going on. Now, those of you that have been on our cruises in the past, Ian has organized, and we're doing things in a different way on board. We have great on board events, and we're going to do things in a way that we'll reveal on the first night when we're out there. But we've got a lot of good things we're doing on board on our sea days.
Yeah, I mean, so our events are finalized now. I'm working on everybody's favorite part, which is dining, and our magic carpet events and our drinks events and the shows, and we're working on all of that. From what I hear, the entertainment, the sailing is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we're going to have a really good time, as we always do, but even more so this time on our sea days. Now, this is a private group, okay, of MAGA people, and we do everything together, dinner together, we have onboard activities together, but we also have shore excursions at our ports of call together, and you've set something up that's like out of this world in Puerto Plata, which is the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, so in Puerto Plata, you know, we did something a little different last time we were there, but this time we're going to go to a 4 or 5 star all-inclusive resort. It's going to include your beach chair, your umbrella, all you can eat, and all you can drink.
With emphasis on all you can drink.
It has to.
Exactly. So listen, join us. Those of you that are already booked, call Ian today and talk to him about the excursions, okay? But those of you that have not booked, there is availability on the ship. You are welcome to join us. You will have an incredible time. We have a great group of MAGA people. You know, no liberal stowaways are allowed, okay? And we have a great time every year. This is my vacation, and you're invited to spend it with me and Steve Kane. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. His number's 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
Talk soon, man.
All right, take care. All right, that's going to be fun. I can't wait. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Ray of Sunrise.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I was going to call about something else, but Ian, everybody should know, Ian is a real professional. He's been in that business a long time. He knows everything. You have any questions about the cruise, or you want to get the premium package on the drinks, or anything you want, Ian can answer it. Ask Ian.
Yes, absolutely.
You were being a little too kind. You were talking before about Portland and Minneapolis, that a journalistic mistake. Not all mistakes and errors are unintentional, and that's what I want to talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
We are being brainwashed. I mentioned this before. I called Newsmax last night. I hope somebody gets back to me, because even their guests, they're supposed experts that they get so much, and their own anchors, they say Democratic Party, Democratic Senator so-and-so, Democratic. There is no Democratic Party. What's wrong with these people? This is a big lie. We have. Remember, I mentioned Richie. Richie is probably the best caller we have. Okay, but even yesterday, a young man there, very well informed, knew everything. Twice he said Democratic, using it the wrong way. There's a Democrat Party and a Republican Party, and
well, you're correct. I'll finish and then I'll comment on it, Ray.
The present Democratic Party is the most undemocratic party in our history.
No doubt.
Is what I believe.
Well, let me say this before we move on to your next thing. This thing about calling it the Democratic Party. You are absolutely correct, but it's out of habit. You know, it's like every hot tub's a jacuzzi. All gelatin is Jell-O. You understand what I mean? It's, you know, it's just it's unintentional. I know what you mean, but you know,
on their part, they know what they're doing. They're brainwashing us, Brian. This is the big lie. This is Goebbels.
Yeah.
You know, you repeat a lie often enough. You've said it many times.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat a lie often enough, people get to believe it. The biggest thing lately is tying up this socialism that they're shoving on us as democratic socialism. This is the biggest oxymoron in the world. Socialism is an economic term. Democracy is a political term. The two never go together. Every time we've had socialism, we have dictatorship, we have one-party rule. Let me do economics 101, just very briefly. Socialism is government control of the major means of production and distribution, period. Now, it's government control. That means it's not private enterprise. It's not capitalism. It's not private property. They can take your taxes. Other people are using and controlling your money. Now they try to put before this, AOC and Bernie Sanders, democratic socialism. They're trying to make it as democratic. That's impossible. It can't be democratic because it's government. It's not run by the people. It's run by the government.
Well, you know, I agree. Democratic socialism is communism. They just don't have the guts to say it. They're closeted communist. But, you know, democratic socialism has done us a big favor because the Democrat Party is fading out of existence because the democratic socialists have taken it over. and they're turning people off. That's why the party is failing so bad. They've done us a favor in a way.
Too, that's another part of brainwashing, to use the term socialism all the time. As you just said, they're out and out communists.
Yeah.
They don't want, see, as I just said, government control is socialism. Government ownership is the next step, and that's what they want. That's communism. Communism was the government owns everything. There is no private property. That's the difference.
That's correct. And that's what Mamdani's housing girl keeps talking about, and all this. Yeah, that's and Mamdani in New York has said what they're going to do. They're going to seize people's private property using code enforcement, and when and they're going to take it from you.
They always push this on people as if they're going to give people something, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Land, peace, and bread, Lenin said, and so on.
Oh, my goodness.
Always ends up in a dictatorship. There's no way to have socialism without controlling the people, and that begins with the propaganda.
And the leaders, like even in Cuba, the leaders in Cuba during the height of Fidel were like AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Mamdani, all millionaires living in beach houses, while the rest of the country was hungry.
And this is what people don't understand about what Trump is doing. Trump is fighting a war against communism. He's fighting the war against socialism. Venezuela has collapsed. Now Cuba is going to collapse. All of it. But every time, this is not new. Hundreds of years we've had socialism. It has failed. It's failed everywhere it's been tried, and it's always a dictatorship. Nazism is socialism. Nationalism is socialism. That's what the term Nazi comes from. It's national socialism. People are so ignorant of history. Student of history, it. It's not taught in the schools. We've got to bring the civics back. We've got to bring history back. And people have got to get involved in the schools, run for school board, or just go to PTA meetings, but find out what the heck your kids are reading. Look at their textbooks. Talk to them. Parents have turned everything over to the schools. We know about what the
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I dealt with these. I taught 30 years in New York City public schools. I was a high school teacher, and I dealt with these liberals way back then, Brian. This is not new. This is back in the 1960s. This was going on.
Oh, yeah.
They have destroyed education, and these nitwits. That's where we get this journalistic malpractice. These people, you see it even in the press conferences. Now, those supposedly are the elite of the press, right? The stupid questions they ask. You saw Vance yesterday. He made fun of them.
Well, you know what it is with the press. I'm got to run for the break, Ray, but I just finished with this. The people that are in the media today, even at the top tier level, like you're talking about, they don't know how to investigate. They don't know how to ask questions. They've lost that ability. These are not the Walter Cronkite people or the Geraldo Rivera in the 70s. It was always a liberal, but you know what I mean? They think they're reporters. They think they're journalists. But they're just press agents that are reading what the party sent them to read, and they're too stupid to know it.
The party line. That's Goebbels. That's
Soviet Union. Goebbels. That's right. All right, Ray. Good to talk to you. I got to run. All right. Now this is going to be the year, guys, that all of you are going to keep your New Year's resolution to lose weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm going to give you their number in a moment, so get something to write with. Call and tell them I sent you, and schedule your no-charge consultation. I went to Coastal Weight Loss Secret about a year ago. I lost the weight. I lost about 1 pound a day. I haven't gained any of the weight back. In fact, today's another day that I'm wearing an old pair of pants that I found as my wife and I are doing a lot of decluttering in our house, and I keep coming across old clothes, and before I throw them out, I try them on. These pants I'm wearing, I don't even know how many years they're old. They're probably about as old as you are, Mike. I don't know how old these pants are, but they fit me perfectly. Because I am at the weight I was at 29 years ago, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And remember this, there were no pills, no injections, no surgery, no intense workout. And I didn't even feel hungry once during the whole process, and I don't now. Give them a call, 561-247-6300. Remember, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter where you're located in the world. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Remember, everybody can hear you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
When I was working with Birdman, it was the same thing with the New York Post. Like, he would be like, oh...
Yeah, I hardly ever use it because of that.
Yeah. What he would always do at that point, because he knew how bad it was online, just go to the gas station and pick up a newspaper. Because he was so pissed that everything was just ads on the website.
And you can't scroll through the articles.
Nope. There was even a paywall at some point where you couldn't even look at it because you had to pay
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, they just block you out. It's crazy. I was not surprised that nothing's changed.
Did they give you the timeline when the new guy's coming in?
New guy.
You said somebody new coming in with your application.
Oh,
The re-eye?
no, I don't know. I thought he would have been in by. I mean, he came in a few days ago when
Oh, you
the
just
whole
missed
thing
him?
happened. Well, it's funny because I didn't know who he was at first. 'Cause it wasn't done yet. He walked in and waved, and I waved back, and even runs like, oh, someone said I'm Vic's friend. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't know until after. I was like, oh, that's the guy. So I unless he is here, but just after. But...
No, I mean they're going to be here full time.
That's a good question.
That's what I was wondering. I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm gonna ask Frank
Because I don't know where the other office is.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. But I know it's like all over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he's looking to buy more, so it's gonna be even farther. It's crazy. We're gonna be all over Florida.
We'll see.
We already got that guy yesterday that called.
Yeah, there were a few from Stewart yesterday. Yeah.
Mike wants me to grab any of them that's sent to him to make promos for him.
Mm-hmm.
So can't wait.
Yep.
Today, that's the over the time to send to you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do the same for next week or whatever I don't.
Yeah, if I do those first, that would help a lot.
Yeah, of course.
and online SiegelLawGroup.com. Now back to the Steve Kane Show.
All right, we're back on this Open Phone Friday, Open MAGA Mike Friday. On Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind on Open MAGA Mike Friday. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Louisiana.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, I don't understand. I just looked on ESPN. They did a moment of silence for that woman that got killed. I just don't understand.
Really? On ESPN?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow.
Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves did a moment of silence.
Really? I'm sorry. I didn't see that in the news. I would have thought that would have made the news.
I was looking on ESPN, and they had an article. They did a moment of silence for that lady.
You know, here's the thing, and it's very important to point this out. No MAGA people are celebrating what happened. I mean, it's tragic that this woman lost her life, and she really is a victim, not of ICE, but she's a victim of these Democrats that have brainwashed her and many others to think that there's some type of freedom fighters and liberators and are doing something that's right and just when the opposite is true.
I just don't understand a private team, a professional team doing that for her.
I don't know. I'd have to see a story about that. I don't know. You know, listen, if it was there, and Minnesota is as liberal as it gets. Some of the most liberal people, by the way, thanks for the call. Some of the most liberal people in modern American politics have come from Minnesota, right? Al Franken. I was talking about Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale's the guy, when he ran against President Reagan, Reagan won 49 states. He won every state but Minnesota. That's where Walter Mondale was from. And, they're just very, very liberal. And I'll tell you, yesterday, Tim Walz, I don't know if I'm going to play this or not because I don't think it's necessary to play. But Tim Walz was talking at his press conference yesterday about the Civil War. Did you guys see this? He was talking about the Battle of Gettysburg and Minnesota's role in the Battle of Gettysburg, and there was part of the battle. I don't know, day 2, whatever it was. There was I looked this up. I didn't know the history of the Battle of Gettysburg's Minnesota regiment's role. I had to look it up, but they did some pretty brave stuff fighting those Democrat Confederates. I get it. But why is he talking about the Civil War? And comparing himself and and remember yesterday I was telling you how Tim Walz had activated, he said, the National Guard to stand up and fight against the federal government, is what he said. And then yesterday he's talking about how brave Minnesota was at the Battle of Gettysburg in the Civil War. This guy is inciting so much violence, and is, when these tragic things happen, you try to cool things off. And I'll give you an example. There's certain things that happen that if you don't handle them in a certain way, things go downhill, right? When there's a tragedy like this, you want to, and you're the mayor or you're the governor, you want to come out and cool things off so people don't continue to behave this way and more people don't get hurt or killed. But what they've done is the opposite. And it's amazing that there haven't been 12 more deadly incidents since then in Minnesota because they're egging them on. And a lot of this is out of his panic and self-preservation that he's afraid he's going to be arrested and for this fraud. And what he is setting up, he's doing a couple things. I mean, maybe he's doing some manifesting. Liberals are all into manifesting, that he can somehow get the federal agents out of there and the investigation of the fraud will stop. That's a possibility. But he also may be setting himself up as a martyr. Like if he gets arrested, it's because he's standing up against these deportations and he's trying to become a martyr. But Nick Shirley did a podcast interview yesterday, which he brought up. He's been doing a lot of investigating about Tim Walz. And Nick Shirley dropped something. Let me pull this up, and then I want to play this, then I'll take some calls. But he's continued his investigation in Minnesota and, in particular, Tim Walz. And he uncovered something that I did not know about Tim Walz. And it's about why Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz as her running mate. Here it is. Let me pull this up. And this was pretty surprising to me. And it shows you what he's all about. This is Nick Shirley on a podcast yesterday.
You know what's interesting about Tim Walz? Why do you think Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz? Nobody knew who he was before.
Why? That is interesting.
The first day he's chosen, he raises the most amount of money than any other candidate in history. I think it's over $35 million he raised for the campaign within just a day of being selected to become the vice president. And now we know all this fraud's happening. How did Tim Walz, he used to be a high school football coach, he's not even from Minnesota, he's from Nebraska. How was he able to raise the most amount of money?
That's great. Do you think the Somalians were funding it?
100%. It had to be some sort of fraud.
Okay. I mean, he raised more money than anyone else. This goof, that's why she picked him. That's exactly why. And now that everything's being investigated, and J.D. Vance announced yesterday that they've created a new deputy attorney general position that's going to act kind of like a special counsel in charge of investigating all of this fraud. And what I was wondering about that, is President Trump bypassing Pam Bondi? He doesn't want to fire her maybe, and he's bypassing her. Because I've known everything that's been going on in Minnesota. It's been Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, and Kristi Noem. I haven't heard anything out of Pam Bondi. And then yesterday, J.D. Vance, not Pam Bondi, but J.D. Vance announced in that White House press conference that they're going to have this special Deputy Attorney General that's only in charge of this. It looks like Pam Bondi may be getting bypassed. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Sounds like you.
Oh, hi. This is Dale in Fort Lauderdale.
Hey.
Question for you. Yeah, the top of the hour ID that you always play states that one of your WQAM. And WQAM is radio.
I don't know. I haven't heard that ID. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. No, I don't play it. I don't play it. Well, I'll take a look into it. Yes. I'm not going to get into everything we're doing. No. Yes. I will. I'll check into it. I'll look into it. All right. Take care. They're always honest, Mike. Okay, I'm looking at the clock. I've got the camera in front of the clock. I can't see the clock. Before we go back to the phones, though, a couple other things I want to talk about. What's going on in Minneapolis, what's going on in Portland, okay? And if you notice, it's exactly the same thing, right? The Portland thing was the ramming. The Minneapolis was the ramming. And what J.D. Vance said yesterday that I thought was very, very important was that they're investigating the connection between the car rammers. And he actually talked about how there is they believe, they haven't identified the person yet, but that they believe that there is a organized national criminal element. And did you see this press conference yesterday? A national organized criminal element coordinating these attacks because there's too many of them. And when you follow these things, if you remember about 2 months ago, President Trump had this meeting at the White House where he had all these conservative influencers that had been covering the different Antifa activities. Remember this? And they got a lot of information that they put in together. They've identified who's behind it. They just haven't gotten the evidence to prove it yet or pick them up. Okay? And when that person, what I've noticed about Trump over the years, and if you follow Trump, one of the things that Trump does better than anybody is media timing, media manipulation, and media promotion, right? And what Trump does with things is he handles everything in beats, right? He handles everything in beats and times it for maximum media impact. And if you've noticed, although there's been a couple of posts on True Social, President Trump hasn't gotten involved too much in the Minneapolis incident. He's actually been staying out of it pretty much, if you notice, right? And one of the reasons that is because he's handling these international affairs. But one of the other reasons is that not just the international affairs, they're waiting till they get some more information on what's going on with the rammers and who's funding it. And there's going to, in this announcement yesterday that they've created this new Deputy Attorney General. Notice JD almost said who it was, and he says, well, we'll announce who it is when we make the nomination. So they haven't even told us who it is yet. And the person that they name, I would assume either will be somebody that we know or someone that that has an expertise in organized crime, is what I'm guessing it is. Because this is what it is. The way that they're dealing with this nationwide protest, remember the woman that was shot in Minneapolis was a trainer of these ICE rammers and protesters, according to that New York Post article that I wasn't able to read. This is like how the mafia was handled back in the 50s and 60s by the federal government. You know what I mean? whoever these people are behind this ramming movement that's going on, the ICE protesters, it's the new mafia. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be back. Our number is 888-465-2631. Don't go anywhere.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here.
Hello? Hold on. Mike, I'm going to need one more spot.
Is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now at Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Steve King Show is up.
All right, we're back 47 minutes after the hour. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Yeah, I want to. First of all, thank you, Ray. And Ray brought up the communism, and you brought up communism in the classroom. I'm gonna explain to people out there that don't realize it. Brian, when you bought your car, you had to pay taxes on your car, but you purchased it out of your work. You work and you made money, so you bought a car, and you have a right to put people in your car who you want. Usually, your family members or your friends, or by yourself. Am I right or wrong? That's called individualism. I worked for communists. Okay, I was a county bus driver, and you want to know what the collective is? The collective is picking up the public with all the crazy people, the drunks, everything everything you can imagine. The drug addicts, the homeless, everything. And that's collectivism, and that's exactly what communism is. You're going to be put in one giant basket. You lose all your rights. You have to go where they want to take you. You have to pay.
But here's the thing, okay? I don't worry about it because there's still these little pockets, right? Like we have in New York. but but everywhere else it's done.
Just want to bring that up. What I really called about was I've been watching what's going on in Minnesota. I watched the so-called demonstrations. I've been in the service. I've gone to bars. I've got in Broward County and Dade County. When I was a young man, I had my nights where I got totally trashed. The guys talked and had filthy mouths, but we talked amongst each other. I have never heard women, grown women, hysterical women, with the language that comes out of their mouth. I mean, I don't know where their parents were. I know that your daughter would never go into a mob scene and start cursing law enforcement officers like a drunken sailor. I have never heard women speak like this. What, they were raised like alley cats in a barn. That watching that, there's no hope for the Democrats. There's no hope.
You know, I was watching yesterday, and you may have seen too. I was watching the protest in Minneapolis yesterday. There were not that many people there. Laura Ingraham was there, so I saw some of her stuff that she did yesterday too. There's like 50 people there.
Up there was about 1,000 there, and
then they're gone, and then they left. Where
the lady was killed, and they have taken.
Yeah, I see. They put up some. They're trying to build a new Chaz. Yes, but this is what you got to understand. Okay, when there have been incidents in the past where there's been police-involved shootings. Michael Brown, you can go through. That's the most recent one, or the Trayvon Martin. Okay, is another one. This has been isolated to there. I haven't seen any, and New York doesn't count, by the way, and LA doesn't count. I haven't seen any meaningful demonstrations outside of that area. So what does that tell you?
I just talked about Minnesota. I noticed he's talked about Illinois, which is Chicago. Talked about L.A. in California. He wants uprising. These people want what's going on in this country. And there's crazy people out there. These people, I don't know whether President Trump can open up the world's biggest insane asylum and just put them all in there, because I believe they're crazy.
Well, you would be correct. All right, Richie, I got to run. Good to talk to you. All right, it's time to check in with Jamie LeeZep from Swift Tags. Jamie LeeZep, good morning.
Morning, Brian. How's everything?
Oh, man, everything's going well. I was talking earlier, you and I we had a conversation yesterday morning, and I said, it's been reported by the Secretary of Treasury that people are going to get the biggest tax returns they've ever gotten in so many instances because of the big, beautiful bill. And I was telling you that people that I know personally, this year, now that we're in tax season, they're like excited to do their taxes.
Well, it's funny. I just started punching in some returns yesterday, and I'm already seeing the difference between now and last year. The biggest thing was the tax brackets were moved, and they were actually labeled and stapled permanent, that they're not going to move again. You've noticed, from administration to administration, one big thing they always do is change the tax brackets, how much you make and how much you owe. So that's the biggest thing now, that, that bottom 20% is much higher than what it was previously.
Mm-hmm. And you and I, we've talked about different types of people that you have helped in our audience and can help, right? Business owners, people that are part of the gig economy, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, people that have back taxes, but also people that receive W-2s. Which is, I would imagine, is most everyone. You can help those people a lot too, right?
Yeah, a lot of W-2 people, depending on how. And here's a big thing right now. Everyone's going back to work, and they're going to be filling out their W-4s, W-9s to go back to work. And, on the first page it says, how many dependents do you have? And people without dependents end up putting nothing, and their take-home is a lot less than maybe the guy they sit next to with dependents. So there's also another thing on the second page. You can put down any deductions that you plan on getting at the end of the year, and that will reflect on your take-home check. It's not something a lot of people do, but it is a way to, still pay your taxes on your W-2 and yet take home a little more money.
This is the thing I've learned. I wish I would have learned this when I was a younger person. But for the most part, no matter who you are and what your situation is, you want to call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax, because most everyone that doesn't use a tax professional like you, Jamie, they're paying too much in taxes.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. If you're someone out there who's doing H&R Block, TurboTax, even if you think that you're doing a great job on TurboTax because you've done it for years and, it's something that you think that you're good at, I'm telling you, you need to come to me. You need to come and get an accountant who can help you out and save you the stress year after year.
Yeah, and I've talked to several of our listeners already that you've met with, that you're working with, and they're singing your praises like nobody's business, and they're amazed. And there's one commercial we're running with a listener named Lewis who had an accountant, and they told him he owed a lot of money on these past years. He came and met with you, and he's actually getting a check back from the government. He's getting a return.
There's a lot of different ways I can help people. Here's a big thing out there. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but if you owe money to the IRS, and if that bill is getting out of control, if you're looking at that bill and you're saying, there is no way I ever will be able to pay this the rest of my life, there's a program out there that can help eliminate that bill in full.
Yeah. And, another thing, when we were talking off air, you had mentioned the last time you called in, you were talking about, because, of course, Jamie LeeZep from Swift Tax can help you with your taxes no matter where you are. He's located in Broward County, but no matter where you are in the United States or even the world, Jamie LeeZep from Swift Tax can help you with your taxes. And you were talking about helping people in states that have state income tax, and you can help those people a lot as well.
Yes. State income tax. If you're a self-employed person and you're a business and you're paying state tax, a lot of the time you're overpaying in state. Mm-hmm. There's many different reasons why. A lot of the time it's because you're possibly invoicing your clients incorrectly. And that's the biggest thing I run into, is people invoicing incorrectly and paying state tax on a whole invoice when you should only be paying state tax on certain services, products.
Yeah. So listen, guys, no matter where you are, call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. I'm going to give you his number, and this is Jamie's direct number, all right? It's the number I call you at, and or text. It's 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, Jamie LeeZep from Swift Tax. We'll talk soon. That's right. All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
name's Stasia, and I'm calling from Florida. I've got a real important message for everyone who's listening.
All right. I can.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, listen up, people. It's time to wake up.
No.
3.
No. Wait. You could do the war cries here? Are you out of your mind? No. I knew she was gearing up to some lunacy there. All right, we're going to take our break for the top. When we get back, we'll go back to the phones. No, everything is fine, and everything is under control. There's nothing to worry about. Now, if Kamala Harris were president or Joe Biden, then you would have good reason to be worried. But everything is well under control. All right, our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. I got to tell you, the new year has gotten a little strange with some of the callers, I must say. You know, last week, because it was a holiday week, there was a lot of lunacy. I get that. This week, it's the first Friday of a regular week during the year, And we've been hearing from people that are just a little unhinged today, a little more so than you would expect after the holiday period is over. All right, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll go back to the phones. I got a few other issues to get to when we get back. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Remember, Fridays is open phones, open MAGA mic Friday. You can call in about anything and everything on your mind on Friday's show. Show prep's up to you guys, but sometimes it's the best show of the week, and then other times the callers are just a little cuckoo. And starting from the first call this morning, it's been cuckoo time. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break.
WQA.
No. Oh, I forgot about Barry. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. Hey, did you Hello? Hello? Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't know who it was because I'm in a break on the commercial. I did not. No, I might have because I only had that window to get you through. Yeah, I'm coming back in a minute. Yeah, that went very well. Okay, good. All right, awesome. Take care. Bye. When my phone rings during that, not too many people have my cell phone number. So when my phone rings, I'm like, who is it?
Or expensive, call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Sloman's Home Security, protecting families nationwide. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Or visit slomans.com.
If you're dreaming of that perfect Caribbean cruise, nothing comes close to Celebrity Beyond, sailing year-round from Miami to the Caribbean, including our 10th annual cruise in March. Every cruise on Celebrity Beyond is unforgettable. Every detail is taken care of, and you'll enjoy all-inclusive fares, world-class restaurants, and top-quality beverages that redefine indulgence. Relax in the retreat, your own private resort within a resort, or unwind on the retreat sun deck with panoramic ocean views. You can pamper yourself in aqua class, where 5-star spa experiences will melt your stress away. From the lively martini bar to the breathtaking sunset bar, every space on board Celebrity Beyond is designed to inspire and delight, all backed by Celebrity's unmatched service. Call Cruise and Travel Depot today at 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779 to book all your celebrity vacations. Because when it comes to luxury at sea, on board Celebrity Beyond, nothing comes close.
On the air since 1970.
All right. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on this open MAGA mic, Bizarro Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Information you're sharing on your show. I love your show. Please don't hang up on me.
No. We're not going to do war cries, okay? This woman, she's out of her mind. She's out of her mind. Oh, my goodness. It's open phones, but there's got to be some content control of quality. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. This may be the best call we've gotten today, Mike. I got to tell you, the calls today are not the normal level of calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Gordon from Las Vegas.
All right, Las Vegas. Yes, I figured. Is there another Las Vegas? I'm sure there is somewhere.
My bad. It's just the morning. No, but I wanted just to talk about the recent events of yesterday of Minnesota. It's sad, but we all know what happened, and we give all thanks to everyone and how ICE took care of it. They did de-escalate like their people.
Okay. Oh boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes.
My name is Hillary from Deerfield Beach.
Yes, Hillary.
Yes. I'm calling about what's been happening in Minnesota and so forth. I mean, I don't know how you can defend President Trump so much. The world, our nation is going crazy since he's been in power.
Really? So you're in Deerfield, okay? And I know Deerfield. I live not far from you. How is it going crazy in our community? Things seem to be going pretty well.
Community. I'm talking about in Minnesota and now in Oregon.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about Minnesota and Oregon, these two blue states. Why do you think things are going well for you in Deerfield Beach in Broward County, but they're out of control in Minneapolis and they're out of control in Portland, where we've had shootings this week involving ICE agents?
I mean, you were saying that this woman was trying to. The footage showed that she was trying to run down the.
No, she did. She wasn't trying to run down the officer. She hit him. She actually did it. There's
the footage. I didn't see anything like.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the footage from the front of the car? There's new footage from the front of her car where you actually see the ICE officer. She hits him so hard he bends over onto the hood.
I didn't see anything like.
Well, hey, listen. I mean, you probably haven't seen Venus, but it's there because you haven't seen it. It's everywhere.
This was a young mother who lost her life, and now there's.
Well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think would happen if you and I were down on the beach at Deerfield Beach, and we rammed a police car? What do you think? And then the police officer got out, and we sped toward them. What do you think would happen? If we try. Okay, and if we tried to run over a police officer and hit the officer, what do you think would happen?
You get arrested.
Well, but if the officer that you're trying to run over, that you're speeding towards, you don't think they would shoot us? You think they would just let us run them over?
No, but I didn't see her trying to run him over.
Well, you...
Side of the car who got out of the way.
There were two on the side, and there were two on the side, and there was one in the front.
I saw no police officer.
Well, you have not seen all the video then. There's video that's all the way from every direction.
You're gonna say what you want to say, and you're gonna defend Trump to the end. Trump could commit murder, and you would defend him.
But he hasn't committed murder.
But who said he did? I'm just saying he could.
What has he done that I should not be approving of?
He done.
Well, with the officers that were attacked by your liberal friends in Minneapolis were deporting illegal aliens in Minneapolis. Some of them, the Trinidad Agua gang members.
It's the way they do it.
Well, how would you do it?
I don't know. I'm not a police officer.
Well, they are.
I personally believe that Trump is mentally unbalanced, and he should not be in the White House, but in a mental...
Well, the majority of the voters disagree. He won the majority vote. I'm one of those people that voted for him. So you're in a cult. You're in a tiny little group of people, a little cult.
I am not in a cult.
Yeah.
Not a cult. I would never be in a cult.
You're in the Never Trumper cult.
Yes, I'm a Never Trumper, yes.
That's a cult.
And what you're in is not a cult?
No, a cult. I'm with the American people. I'm with the majority of the American people who voted for him.
It's the majority of them.
Well, he won the popular vote last year.
He won the popular vote.
Yes, and every battleground state. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't think he should be impeached.
Why would you impeach him? For deporting people that are here illegally?
He's done for all these things he's done.
What, giving us the largest tax cuts in history?
How about letting out all the January 6 people? That was right, too?
Yes.
100 people?
First off, he didn't let all of them out. Some of them stayed incarcerated that did some more harsh things, but yeah.
Well, in the papers, they said it was like...
In the papers. In the liberal papers. So what?
Believe in the papers. You don't believe in the regular news.
They're not news. They're propagandist.
Says you.
Says most people. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, though.
Okay.
And Deerfield's a nice place. I like Deerfield. The beach in Deerfield's very nice. It's one of the better beaches in Florida, actually. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you, Brian. It's Charles from Stewart. I talked to you yesterday.
Oh, hey, Charles and Stewart. How are you doing?
Good, good. You know, some people it's just amazing about the stupidity. It's just incredible. But you know what? Here's what else is incredible. They keep throwing the Nazi word and fascist out like it's nothing. You know, years ago, people would even utter those words because they don't even know what it really is anymore. But I mean, it's like they talk like that, and they're the ones acting like the Nazis and fascists. It's just amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and you know what? Like I said, they get really ugly. You know what I mean? And I've never seen ugly before, but now I've seen it. But I just wanted to drop in that thing about the fascist thing. They throw that word around like it's nothing. You know, they don't even know what they're saying. So I saw that.
Well, you know, the thing with Democrats always think democracy has failed and fascists are in charge when they lose, right? That's what they do. They used to do this with Ronald Reagan. They may praise Reagan now, but when he was president, believe me, they were talking about him like they talk about Trump. They were trying to impeach him all the time, too.
You know, well, you also mentioned about, you know, this was like the biggest political upset in modern history because Trump slammed Kamala. And you know, they're sore losers. It's like they haven't grown up. It's like when they don't get their way, they want to change the rules. They get ugly. It's just, it's you know, like I always believe, and a lot of people do, truth is stranger than fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I want to drop that on.
Well, if you look at it, okay, just think about this. Then we got to break. But the three most hated presidents by Democrats, right? Trump, Reagan, and Nixon. Reagan and Nixon both had 49 state victories. And President Trump came back for a second non-consecutive term and won the popular vote. You know, so Yeah, so the ones they hate the most, that they called dictators and did all this stuff, are actually the most popular American presidents of our lifetime. The liberals are a small cult minority that's overrepresented in media, so they seem to be larger in number than they are.
Right. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, 'cause they think the louder they get, but they're not making any sense at all. And that Tim Walz, he should be arrested. They should yank him out of that office and throw him in jail. I mean, like I said, they want civil war.
Yeah.
I said before, they started the last civil war. You know, not many people know that the Democrats were the party back then that wanted slavery. They don't even know that.
Well, do me a favor. Tell everybody in Stewart about this program.
I will. I already told my best friend.
All right. Make him tell. Hey, word of mouth. That's the best. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Take care. Take care. All right. Let's check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, of course, this morning at the Siegel Law Group offices at 10 a.m., we have our Living Trust workshop on a rare Friday morning workshop. And and we probably have about 2 or 3 seats left. If anybody wants to call at 8:30 and put their name on the list, you're more than welcome to join us. And one of the things that we discuss powers of attorney and healthcare documents such as living wills, healthcare surrogates, HIPAA authorizations. But one of the things we also discuss is how to make sure that you have your healthcare documents with you whenever you need them. Because you never know where you're going to be when, God forbid, something happens. God forbid you have a stroke or a heart attack and you're out at the grocery store or you're playing golf or you're on vacation. Think about it. Who here actually has their healthcare surrogate living will on them, in your suit pocket, in your purse? No. So we have a way, and we're going to talk about that at our seminars, how you can make sure that you have access to all of those documents whenever you need them. That's super important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And who you want to be your healthcare surrogate can change over time. And a lot of times maybe you don't want that person to be making the decisions for you because of something that so these are things you want to review from time to time, right? I mean, you may that person you may have had a falling out with, and right? These things happen. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. Ask about the workshops. If you at all can, you should go to these workshops. They're very informative. You get a lot of great information. Plus, you get to meet Attorney Barry Siegel and his staff and his team and get to know them a little bit. The number is 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we will talk next week. All right, take care. All right, do we have spots to play? All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-201. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
So if you are planning on a new roof in 2026, take advantage of our first quarter low pricing now. These savings are significant, especially for multiple building HOA and condo associations. This covers shingles, tiles, and flat roof systems. So give me a call on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602 or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No doctor's order or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use
All right, let's go back to the phones on this Open MAGA Mike Fridays. You know what Rush used to say about open phones on Fridays is the day we turn the show over to rank amateurs. And sometimes you find out the dangers of doing that. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay. How you doing?
I'm good. Just heard you talking to that lady just a few minutes ago, giving her all those little things about how she's wrong. No. MAGA, y'all are a cult, and you're a small cult, but you used to be bigger, but you're not as big as you used to be because a lot of MAGA has turned on the nut man.
That's not true.
It's true.
No, that's not true.
Even spoke about how there's a bunch of dumb people who are MAGA who are speaking out.
No, what I've talked about are some of these radio people, podcasters, influencers, Candace Owens, and a few others who go around and are just trying to get clicks and views and saying stupid things. But they haven't turned. These aren't people that have turned against Trump. Candace Owens was a never Trumper before she was even famous. Well, you're talking about we're talking about these influencers. He's one of them.
No, well, just like I told you, I work on the poll the elections every single time. The same, they seem to always put me in the white area with a bunch of Republicans, which I always hate, but I deal with it. But the last two times that I went and worked on those Republican polls, those Republicans wanted to change their vote to Democrats, but you can only do it during the bigger election, not when you're putting the person up. And all of them were asking that question. How could they vote democratically? They're turning on Trump. The midterms is going to be the biggest slaughter.
Oh, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that.
How much you want to bet?
I don't gamble. I don't gamble, and I don't bet. I don't bet, and I ever on anything.
Say the word bet.
Nope, I don't gamble. Nope.
You can't gamble on.
I do not bet on anything. First off, it'd be illegal for me to make a bet with you on the air. That's number one. And, he's probably trying to jam me up. I would never be so stupid to be entrapped by you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. That lady from New Jersey, I don't know if it's a lady or a man. It sounds like a lady. New York.
There was a song, Dude Sounds Like a Lady.
It sounds like a lady. I don't know. But she's speaking from New York. Of course, New York is filled with Democrats. And sometimes they even register as Republicans just because they want to do it, not because they're really true Republicans or true MAGA. So she's speaking out of her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let me tell you, the lady from Deerfield Beach, she sounds like all she hears is leftist propaganda. Because that video that you're saying that the third agent was in front of the car, it's all over the media. All over the media. I saw that video like twice.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this though. She's an older lady, so I'm going to be nice to an old lady like that. I mean, she was like 92 years old, okay? She still gets her news from newspapers. And if she watches television, it's either CNN or Rachel Maddow, and they're not showing the other videos that you're seeing on Newsmax or Fox or online. So she's just not being informed.
Yeah, I'm sure that she doesn't know that the lady that she feels bad about because she was a mother, she was actually the ringleader of a group that was sent to Minnesota to do exactly what she did, which is to stop ICE agents from doing their jobs and to even run them over if possible. So that woman that lost her life, it wasn't because she lost her life because she wanted to or because the ICE agent wanted to do it. No, she was paid. She's actually
she was a trainer. She was training these car rammers, and yeah.
There's other videos, Brian, on the internet of other women in Minnesota following ICE agents to do what? To run them over. So I don't know why these people think that they can break the law. I don't know why they think that they can get away with.
Well, you know, this is what if in the press conference that J.D. Vance had yesterday at the White House, he was calling out CNN in particular, but he was talking about how CNN hasn't been showing all the videos, right? And there's new video, and remember, all these videos are taken from these liberal lunatics that were there when it happened and uploaded them to Blue Sky or X or TikTok. Okay, so the source for all these videos are these liberal loons that are out there harassing ICE. And J.D. Vance was talking about how CNN isn't showing those videos because if they show the videos, well, their people will be woken up. And you can hear, like, the nice lady, elderly lady from Deerfield, she doesn't want to know. She wants to live in this liberal world. She doesn't want to be informed.
Yeah, because she's accusing you of being in a cult, but she's in a cult herself.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's anti-Trump no matter what you say daily, no matter what you say, that there's evidence right here that things happen this way. She doesn't want to believe it. She doesn't want to see it. So, I mean, who's actually in a cult?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A lot of liberals are marching. I don't know if you saw that, but they were protesting, and they were calling people to rise up. It is like we're living in an insurrection. And that
Minnesota is an open rebellion right now. No question about it, an open rebellion against the government.
I don't know what Trump is going to do, but he's going to have to send the National Guard.
I think he's, I noticed, I think what he's done, obviously a lot is being done because federal agents are there, but it seems he's letting Kristi Noem handle most everything, and he's staying out of it because he knows that they want him to get more involved. You know, and he's working on some bigger things. And because they've got two things working against them, right? One, Trump's not really getting involved in Minnesota. And second, the woman's white. If she were black, they'd have the race card. They would have all the black activists there. Probably Benjamin Crump would be on the scene and all Sharpton. And so those two things, the story's fading away. And plus the videos, plus all the videos too.
Yeah, the thing is that last night they were calling people to rise up. There were thousands of Minnesotans last night protesting and doing an insurrection. They're actually calling California to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. I mean, it's...
All right, well, listen, I got to run for the bottom of the hour break, but I appreciate the call. All right? All right, take care. Take care. Now, again, I want to tell you guys, this is, I know half of you have the New Year's resolution to lose weight. This is the year. It's going to happen. You're going to do it. You're going to be successful. You're going to lose all the weight you want to lose, and probably more with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, like I did last January. I'm going to give you the number, but I want to tell you this. When I say you're probably going to lose more than you want to lose, when you find out how easy it is to lose weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, with no pills, no injections, no surgery, no intense workout, you'll never feel hungry, you're going to say, you know what, I can go further. Now, I lost 37 pounds, which is a lot for me. But if you want to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150, 200, 250, even more, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you do just that, no matter where you're located. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on?
How's it going?
It's going. Is there anything in particular you wanted to cover today?
Interest rates.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we talked about that last time. That was a good thing to
Only
talk about.
because there's banks are not paying what they were paying. You know?
Yeah.
We still got some decent rates.
Okay.
MAGA Mike Friday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, these callers today are just
They're wearing
bottom
me
of
out,
the
huh?
barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
By the way, that one gentleman that called yesterday, the retired police officer, Frank,
Mm-hmm.
You and Steve had said it was a good interview. He's actually became a client.
Oh, great.
He's got a wealth of knowledge.
Well, people can hear you, so you don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I won't
Yeah,
say his name right,
yeah.
but, you know. Nice guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth of knowledge, though, about New York City police and everything.
Well, back when he was in New York City, they were the premier police agency on the planet.
Exactly.
Right? They were the gold standard.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they are now. I wouldn't trust them to save me.
You're on your own. Anyway, all good.
Oh, and I'm going to stop by after?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You
sure.
said 10?
Yeah, it'd be great.
You got an appointment?
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
if you
no
want to come
problem.
in at 9:30, that's good, whatever.
All right. We're back. All right, Jupiter Joe Thomas is in studio. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Good.
I think this is our first time in the new year.
It is. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. You know, we were talking when you were here last, and this is such an important, you know, a lot of you may have been on, you know, holiday vacations last week, and you brought up something that was very, very important. You were talking about interest rates, and there's a lot of people that are in certain type of investment products. You can say what they are, but I'll mess up if I name them. And they're doing very well now because interest rates are high, but soon we're going to have a new Fed chair that's going to lower them, and they may be producing well right now, but they're not going to be when the interest rates drop.
No, and President Trump wants Jay Powell out of office, let's be honest, because he wants to lower interest rates so the economy will do better. People will be able to buy a home, and car rates, you know, interest rates will be lower. But what it affects is high yield savings, certificates of deposits, CDs, savings account, checking account. All those interest rates are going to be lower, and they're already coming down.
Those high interest savings accounts.
Yeah, they were in the 5s. They've slowly gone down to 4, 3.5, but we still have 5.5% fixed rates. So that's what I want to tell people. I got a client yesterday, 5.7% for 5 years.
There you go.
No fees, no charges, no commission. The company
Locked
pays
in.
me. Yeah, locked in for 5 years. 5.70.
You know, this is the thing about annuities, okay? That is an amazing. Everything about annuities is amazing. But, you know, when you tell me, was it 5.7?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if you invested in the market, how long would it take you to do that over 5 years with all the ups and downs? Is it even possible to do it with confidence
and zero risk?
Without any risk.
That's what
exactly.
People understand. Look, if you can get an annuity that's paying 5.5 or 5.7%. And you don't have to worry about your money. Come on.
Exactly.
The market and the history of the market, you know, I'm a historian with the markets, that's what I do. You know, you're looking at 7.5, maybe 8% if you're very, very lucky.
If everything goes right.
If it's perfect.
If all the planets align.
So let's say 7, and you're getting 5.7?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Without any stress.
For 1.3% that you're giving up.
Yep.
You can sleep.
And you're getting a guaranteed income stream every month.
Now, we also have, you love the bonus annuities, I love the bonus annuities, my clients love the bonus annuities. We have annuities that give you a bonus anywhere from 5, 7, 10% on top of the rate. So sometimes you get that as well. It's a big deal. It really is.
It really is. You know, a lot of times, you know, because there's a lot of things people have their money in, and I really don't understand, okay, what you're supposed to do with it. So say you have an investment fund, you got a broker, you've got your money in there. It goes up, it goes down, you got money, but it's not like an annuity where you're getting that income stream every month.
Exactly.
So while you might be earning money sometimes, losing some money sometimes, I really don't see how that fund works for you in the long term in retirement.
Especially the older you are.
Yeah.
You know, you want to play it safe. I mean, look, when you were a kid, 20 years of age, 15, 16, 17, you loved the roller coaster, right? I haven't been on a roller coaster for 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay? Unless my kid wants to go on or something, I'm going to pay them to go on for me.
Yeah. Well, when you're young and you're still in the workforce, you never want to lose money, by the way. And if you're young, still call Joe Thomas and get in an annuity. But if you're young and you take a hit, you're still in the workforce, you can make it. But when you're retired, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
So safety plays a big deal with what we do, making your money safe. That's the number one reason people come to me. Secondly, for good interest rates, or they want to control their money. They want to know that it's there. They want to sleep at night.
The other thing that I don't really understand the point of, once you're not working for sure, are 401ks, right? So you got a 401k, whatever you got in your 401k. When you're retired, most people I guess they leave it in the. What do they do with their money?
Well, if they're not educated enough to understand how they work, because here 401ks are great, and education plays a big deal because you have to accumulate your money, which you do in a 401k, but distribution is what it's all about, and that's where annuity comes in, where we roll it over. So we educate our clients. We tell them, hey, look, if you have a 401k, it's great, but how do you turn it into income?
That's right.
And that's where the annuity comes into play.
That's right. And out of, I've talked to a lot of listeners who are clients of yours, and I always ask them, because I want to know so I can tell people why they chose an annuity. Every single person has told me the same thing, that monthly income stream.
Big deal.
Every single, that really surprised me because there's so many great benefits of annuities on top of that.
Right.
All right, listen, guys, call Jupiter Joe Thomas. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation, which you can do in the office, you can do on the phone, you can do through Zoom. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk next time. All right, it is, we came out of the break, right? Yes, we came out of the break. All right, it is open phones, and the phones, the quality today is, if you're new to the show, I'd be, one of those days. If somebody's new to the show and they hear the callers today on our open MAGA Mike Friday, I wouldn't want them to judge the show by the quality of some of these people, but we'll see. Maybe we'll raise the bar in the last few minutes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Brian. How you doing? Well, the thing in Minneapolis that this is the first time this has happened. We have not had for quite some time a national story where there was a law enforcement shooting of somebody that became a national controversy. And we haven't had one in maybe a few years. I can't remember the last one we had, right? So this is the first, forgetting about all the players, right? ICE, the controversies of that. The woman who was shot was white, not a minority. We've never had one that was captured on so many videos. And 4K. The best we've ever gotten was dashboard cam footage or some jumpy body cam footage. And we've never, what's been constructed, and it happened real quick, is a 360-degree image of everything that happened. And in the media, the left-wing media, they never had to deal with that before. So they haven't been able to really get a narrative going. Well, oh. Mm-hmm. Well, they've, what's happened, and this is a terrible thing for anybody to get shot in an incident like this. And I believe the woman is a victim of the Democrats, and because you read these stories about her and what she was doing. She was an activist. She was training people. I mean, she did have kids, and she's taking risks like this. It's because people like her are being gaslit and brainwashed by the media and the Democrat leadership. And it's even continuing after the incident for other people out there to continue on the work that she was doing. And what the left are doing and what the media have been doing, are inciting violence. Well, I've never seen, in past incidents when there's been a police-involved shooting that became a national controversy, what usually happens is local officials are pretty, for the most part, responsible. There are activists who come to town and stir up trouble. I've never seen one where the governor and the mayor did what's going on here. Now, I really can't think of one. Al Sharpton would come to town in the old days. Jesse Jackson. Then it was Benjamin Crump, and and these things have happened, and there's been marches, but it's never been like when Al Sharpton had a major candlelight vigil for Trayvon Martin in Sanford. I don't remember the mayor of Sanford stirring the pot on television after that. At all, and certainly not the governor. Who was our governor then? Probably Rick Scott. Maybe. But yeah. So we're in a whole new thing. And the way that Tim Walz is behaving is so irresponsible. When he first made that comment the day of, he talked right after the mayor, and he talked about that he had mobilized the National Guard of Minnesota, which is the Army. And I thought, well, he got carried away. But then yesterday, he's talking about the great heroes in the Battle of Gettysburg from Minnesota. He brought in more Civil War talk. He's pouring gasoline on a bonfire. Well, and another problem they have is the Democrats, they don't have any credible leadership anymore. So they don't have anyone who can say, okay, we need to tone things down. When things happen, I was talking a few weeks ago that after 9/11, when we brought on, it was a mistake, but we brought on a couple of imams, and then they were saying crazy things. The reason we did that, we're trying to cool people off. And if you remember on, what day did this shooting happen? Today's Friday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday, Tuesday? And if you remember, the next day, before I went to the calls, those of you that were listening, before I went to the calls, I said this more than once, callers, be responsible with what you say. Be responsible with what you say. There was a lady who called earlier. I cut her off because she was being irresponsible because I'm cooling things off. After January 6th, I remember Rush Limbaugh. He went on the air and he told everybody else, be careful what you say. I know people are angry. Be cool. That's how you react. You don't go out like the mayor and say what he said. You don't go out like the governor and keep making Civil War remarks. You want to cool things off so other people don't get hurt.
And I think is a reflection on basically the whole party everywhere. These people are totally.
Well, I gotta run, but with Tim Walz is he's terrified of the investigation into the fraud, and he's trying to use this as his get out of jail free card, and it's
And he's going to have a problem because.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. Do we have recorded spots, Mike, or not? Yeah. Do we have recordeds or not? Okay. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show. Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet. We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals ending the week?
Pretty strong for the end of the week. The metals yesterday closed mixed with gold up and palladium up and silver and platinum down. The metals traded in a range for gold at 44.07 on the low to 4,480 on the high, and closing out the day near the highs at $4,477.20. That was up $21.70 for gold. Silver was down $1.22 at $76.92 the ounce, while platinum lost $33 at $2,267, and palladium was up $26, $1,770. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,452 all the way up to $4,491, and right now we're at $4,488 the ounce. That's up $10.80. Silver up $1.63 at $78.55 the ounce. Platinum up $27 at $2,294, and palladium up $55 at $1,825 the ounce. So the metals look like they're going to go out the end of the week pretty strong.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m., guys, and if you can stop in, please do. Although you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail, no matter where you are located in the world. If you can stop in, you'll be. You should be on the tourist list of sights to see in Boca Raton, William Youngerman, because your shop literally is a beautiful museum. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. His number is 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And you can find both his phone number and address online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care, take care. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, good morning, IB.
Hey, IB.
Now, you people understand that months ago when that guy on the California Expressway shot at the Border Patrol and the ICE officers, I said that we were in a civil war without a gun. We don't gather on a field with
Well, it's best not to use that terminology. Why say those things? I mean, why say that? Don't use those words.
National Guard.
All right. I mean, I think a lot of people are you're like trying to be like a reenactor or something. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Keith Evans. I used to live. I want to tell people the difference what the left has done to Minneapolis. I live there.
Long time no here.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How'd you live there in the 90s? Because I knew you in the 90s.
I was in school, and I married in Hennepin County. And she worked in downtown while she was in school. And I'll tell you, there was a town called Uptown. It was the hippest place. It was so fun, day or night. It was so lively and full of life. And now it's destroyed. As a matter of fact, I talked to a couple from St. Paul the other day here, and they said you can't even go there at night. And I cannot understand because, we call them Democrats, but this is not the Democrat Party of my grandparents. My grandparents were big Democrats. This is something that they would never recognize anymore. But they have destroyed Minneapolis, destroyed it. And don't people want their kids to be able to play in the park? Don't people want to be able to go food shopping without being harassed? I just don't understand how the left thinks. It's mind-boggling. And if they could have seen Uptown in the 90s and see what it's like now, this is what their future is. And I just want to say one last thing. If anyone thinks that Venezuela or Cuba or all these countries are so great, just go on the internet, hit emergency room pictures and images what those countries' hospitals look like in the inside. It will blow your mind away. There is no medicine. Try to get chemotherapy in Venezuela if you have cancer. Only the rich can get it. They have to do it on the black market. Okay? It's that bad. All right, it's that bad. Is that what these people want? They like to protest, but they're protesting things for things that if they ever got power, they would never be able to protest again.
Exactly.
which people can, anyone who's been in Minnesota in the 90s would know how beautiful Minneapolis was. I loved it. My ex-wife, it was too cold for her, but it was wonderful. There were so many jobs, the people were nice. It was just so easygoing.
Well, it's changed.
The main McDonald's in Uptown, which is in Minneapolis, which is the hip place, they had to close their dining room because they can't allow people inside now, only through the drive-in. I was just reading an article.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what happens. I mean, while I got you on the line, though, because one issue we have, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to talk to you a little bit. This major rise in anti-Semitism in this country.
So bad. It's so bad. And I'll tell you, Brian, I'm just going to be honest. And I heard you talking about it a little bit when I put the radio on. I really think, though, these Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Owen Schroyer, even Alex Jones, these people, they're not speaking the truth. They know nothing. I love watching even CNN and all these other stations when they talk about the Middle East. They don't even know what they're talking about. I've been there enough in my life. And with my kids, I know exactly what was going on. I know exactly what was going on in Gaza. I know exactly what was going on in Hezbollah. And I watch the news, and those left-wing stations are out of their minds. They're out of their minds. And by the way, I almost got married a second time to an undercover narcotic Israeli, and she knew every dialect of Arabic. She was from Morocco.
Yeah.
You would think that she can go into any Arabic country. She knew every dialect. No one would ever know that she was an Israeli Jew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Told me years ago that this is about drug trade from Afghanistan to Lebanon to Venezuela, Colombia to Mexico, and I can't believe that people are against those. I mean, every time I see him hit those drug boats, I'm like, thank God.
Exactly. Well, listen, Keith. I got to run, but it's good to hear from you again. Keith, by the way, for those that don't know, if anyone remembers Barry Nevins, that's his son, Keith. Remember Barry Nevins from long ago, and Keith, that was just on the phone. I remember we did a show with him once. Obviously he's Jewish. He used to own a house in Israel. And his son, the last time I talked to him, his son was in the IDF. I don't know if he still is. He probably still is. We had him in studio. This was a crazy show. We had him, and it was not a smart idea to do this, but we did it. We had him in studio. The guy was just talking to, with a Muslim, and they were talking about whatever the conflict at the time was in Israel. I don't remember. There's always a conflict with the Palestinians and Israel. And we had to have I'm not kidding. We had to have an armed security guard sitting there between the two of them during the show. And this security guard that we had, he was a fully armed security guard, was one of the biggest men I've ever seen in my life. And even he was a little nervous keeping these two apart. He's very passionate about Israel. So maybe we'll have Keith on sometime to talk about it. He's obviously local again. But you guys remember Barry Nevins of Barry's Vitamins, who passed away years ago. That's his son, Keith. All right, listen, I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. I got to tell you, what a change of my life having both the heart scan and the cancer screening over there. Because when you get older, and it's not just because of my high cholesterol that I was worried about a heart attack. When you get older, things affect you differently. You start to notice this. This is what you got coming, Mike. Once you hit about 45, you start to notice it. Once you get over 50, that's when you really hit how the heat, is treating you. And I can remember doing things and I'd be like, I got to stop. I'm going to have a heart attack because I just thought I was a heart attack waiting to happen. And when I was putting up my Christmas decorations around the house that I'm going to take down this weekend, I was putting lights up, around the house. And I was getting hot, and I was like, if I had not gone to Life Imaging FLA, I wouldn't have finished it. I would have said, no way, it's too dangerous for me to be up here because I'm getting overwhelmed by the heat. But I had the heart scan. I have no plaque buildup, no blockage whatsoever, and guess what? No cancer. Now, I know for some of you that might be bad news in this audience. Some of the callers may not like that, but it's such a peace of mind. And not only did it take a weight off my shoulders, it's made me a lot more active because I know that I have no plaque buildup, no blockage, and no cancer. And just the peace of mind is life-changing. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan right now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan. Pound 250. Say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adam from New York.
Hey, New York. What's up?
Hey, Brian. Hey, I heard you yesterday said that you felt sorry for the woman that was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think we have it wrong. When something like that happens to a Democrat, liberal, communist, we should celebrate it.
No, only if you're a sick, twisted. Only if you're a sick. Excuse me. Only if you're a sick psychopath like you.
Yeah, psychopath like me.
I hear the temper. I hear the temper. I hear it in the voice. You're an angry person.
Laughing and joking about Charlie.
Well, and you want to be like them? You want to be like those psychos?
And then you got that senator, the fraud down there, and that.
No. Hold on a second here. Slow down for a second. I only got a moment, but I want to talk to you about this, okay? While you're obviously not a totally sane person, and you have a lot of anger issues, because I mean, right out the gate, I can hear in your tone that you're an angry person. But the way that the left reacted to Charlie Kirk's assassination, and the way they acted when President Trump was shot in Butler, and the way they were acting when President Trump got COVID, and they're doing all these celebratory things, we called them out rightly so for being lowlives and inappropriate. Why would you want to be that way?
Because we're not winning, Brian.
We're not winning. We just liberated Venezuela. Cuba's about... Are you kidding? What do you mean we're not winning? We just liberated Venezuela. Cuba's about to fall. The protests in the streets in Iran are growing with no military intervention against them. We're about to pick up Greenland. We're going to get the largest tax refunds in history for millions of Americans because we're winning all over the place. See, you're one of those guys. You're one of those. You're the greatest last call we've had in a while because the show's a perfect bookend. I started the show at 6 with this clip of Bongino saying he's going to go after these black-pilled people that are never happy. That's you. We're winning all over the place, and you're still ticked off.
Oh, I'm going to be winning. I'm going to be winning.
Why are you away from the politics? You're an angry man. Why are you so angry all the time? You married? Are you married?
But in the past.
Oh, I see, but not now. All right. Yeah. But do you think you're single maybe because of your tone? Your anger issues? Why do you, I mean, at your age, why are you single, never married?
Yeah, you sound like Candace Owens.
I don't sound like Candace Owens. All right, now see what he does. He wants to start using words to make me hang up on him. Too much reality. You know what that guy needs? Therapy. And a lot of it. But have a great weekend. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. We had a pretty good week. Although today's show, the callers, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll be better next time. Most of the Open Phone Fridays, Open MAGA Mic Fridays, the last few months have gone very well. Well, guys, this is going to be a big weekend. We'll be back live Monday morning at 6 a.m. Steve Kane will be back with us Monday morning. And by the way, guys, those of you that are booked on our cruise, make sure you call Ian today and talk to him about the shore excursions, okay? Because they're going to fill up, and they're going to fill up fast. My name's Brian Craig. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And, yeah, I am sorry that woman was brainwashed and was killed. It's too bad. See you Monday morning, 6 a.m.
that flag on that?
I did. Thank you so much. Yeah.
There's a story behind that. It was one of my neighbors.
I have it up at home.
94 years old. Big
Yeah.
Trump supporter, Jewish guy.
Uh-huh.
Well, long story short, he fell in the parking lot.
Oh, my goodness.
He went straight downhill. But he left me that flag, and I thought you'd like it.
I do like it very much. Thank you. I have it up at home, actually, in my garage. Thanks so much. Hey,